What is up, Honey Badger Nation? This is John Kitchens, and welcome to episode 164 of Expert Mentors Live. I'm super excited. Today's episode, we have Mr. Jim Wehner on with us, and we're going to chat about how to triple your business growth by plugging into the Honey Badger Nation members and tools. Jim, what's up, buddy?
Good morning to you, John. How you doing?
Doing awesome, man. I appreciate you jumping in. We were chatting before. We've had Jen on twice. Episode 12 and then like episode 49. So in the early days of Expert Mentors Live. So it's cool to finally have you on here with us. And I'm super excited to dive in today with you.
Yeah, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you so much. I'm honored to contribute any way I can. And clearly you've got your priorities straight, getting my wife on twice before you invite me on. She's the face of our operation, man. You know, I'm the guy in the background behind the scenes, kind of just putting wind in everybody's sails. And, I thrive in that kind of atmosphere where I can just kind of help other people. And this Honey Badger Nation's given me an insane platform to do what I love doing.
Yeah, man, it is. It's really, really cool. And man, for everybody kind of tuning in, I would love for you to kind of share the story, take us back in time, and we'll let that lead us to present day. But I would love for folks to get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah, I'll take you back. This is my 19th year in real estate, and it's been a roller coaster of a ride. A lot of good times and several bad times where, like my wife, she says, like, be grateful for those failures because they're learning opportunities. And I've certainly kind of changed my mindset. Instead of being so hard on myself and beating myself up over things that I messed up on, I'm like, okay, I messed up. Now, what can I learn from it? How can I grow from it? How can I prevent it from happening again? Or if it does pop up again, how can I, get a better experience or a better result from it? And that's, in 19 years, we were living in Huntington Beach, California, just my wife and I and our little daughter. And I was working nonstop. I just got my law degree. I was in the restaurant world doing managerial work, and I was the first one in there, the last one to leave. I loved my staff, don't get me wrong, but I was just aching to get home and be with my darling wife and my little baby girl. So I just knew I had to change something. And one of my uncles, my good friend Ray Garcia, said, hey, read this book. Two different people that I really love and trust, in my life. Like, read this book. It was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, just a tried and true, pillar of in real estate. And I just internalized that book, and I was blown away by it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally in the rat race. And I just got my degree. I was there actually planning on representing athletes, traveling around the country, half the year, recruiting, right? And then negotiating contracts. And then with my baby at home, I'm like, I want to be next to her.
Yeah, for sure.
And my wife too. I mean, this is my favorite person in the world, So with that in mind, I called my buddy Ray and I was like, hey, what's going on? How are you? His mother had just passed away, and I called him to send my condolences. She was very special to me. In fact, my junior year in high school, they kind of quasi-adopted me. My dad moved down to Southern California. They allowed me to stay. Hold on real fast here. Got my landscaper over here. Hope it's not. But that being said, I called him up to give him some condolences, and essentially he said, hey, I just bought an $86,000 condo here in Tempe. And I was like, those exist? I'm in California where everything's like 400,000 plus. Yeah, and Jim and I were looking, we were just blown away. So he's like, come on out here, take a look at the market. I know you just read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And, I took a trip out here and I was blown away by the inventory that was out here. It was like low hanging fruit. I felt like I was back in the 50s in California, which was really the only real estate market I was ever familiar with. And I was blown away. I was like, wow. So I bought my first HUD home and it didn't go so well. I took out a $17,000 credit card advance because that's all they would give me, John, at the time. And literally, I put money down on a HUD home, and it was a scamming agent. He was literally like stealing money from people, and he got my money. I thought I bought a house out here in Peoria, Arizona, but essentially he put somebody else in there, lied to me, kept my money in his pocket, rented it out, pretty crazy experience for my first real estate transaction.
First gig.
Yeah. So instead of saying, why me? I'm like, what can I learn from this? But I did end up getting my money back from him. I was one of the few people that did. So I was able to continue on after going and meeting with federal investigators and stuff to get this guy. It was pretty crazy, but it didn't deter me. Like, I was very determined. I knew the direction I wanted to go. I knew real estate was a platform or a career that you're going to get out of it what you put into it, and you're going to earn to the penny what you're worth, the value you bring to the marketplace. And I think that's fair. It's the American way. If I work hard and produce,
add more value. Yeah.
I can grow my income. And I was really excited by that opportunity. So that being said, I ended up buying another house in Chandler, Arizona, a little small town out here that was fast growing. This is back 2002, 2003, right?
Yeah.
As another HUD home. And as I was fixing it up, my goal was just to fix and flip houses and go back to California and live by the beach with my wife and, make a family out there. But Arizona grew on me, man. It really, really did. Coming up in California, that's all I really knew. But when I got out here and I saw the tax rates and some of the freedoms we had, it was an attractive quality as well as the cost of living. So as a new dad, I was really intrigued by, some of those factors. Sure. And as I was fixing up the house out there, I started eating at the local taqueria, go to the mall around there. I told my wife, I'm like, hey, it's pretty cool out here. Why don't you come check it out? I mean, I growing up in California, you think Arizona is always depicted as like, cowboy hats and dirt roads. You know what I mean? So for me, I was like, there's lifestyle and amazing, atmosphere, and the weather's amazing. It gets hot in the summertime, but that's what we have pools and vacation times for.
Right.
So we don't complain about it. We love it out here. And Flagstaff's just an hour and a half north. So it's like, perfect climate up there year round. It gets cool in the summer, or excuse me, in the winter with snow, but that's nice to have that variance. So with that being said, Jen came out, we checked out the house, and I'm like, hey, do you want to flip this house, or can we use this as a, platform to get reestablished in a new state? I mean, it was a big decision for us, right? Both of our families are from California, and we started just kind of assessing the practicality of that and what the outcome could be. So she came out to the house, and for me, I was excited because I just quit my managerial job. I was working at a restaurant in Roy's, in Newport Beach called Roy's, and I was the first one there, the last one to leave, and it was just wearing on me. So you make about $80,000 a year, with the benefits and everything they have. So when I signed for that first house, I made $40,000 in equity the minute I signed for it, because I bought it 128. It was worth 168. That day. So literally I'm like, okay, I'm onto something here. This is really cool. So rather than flipping that house, we decided to live in the house, and it was the best decision we made for us financially. And, it's been a great stepping stone for us into our real estate career to kind of be the investor. So with that in mind, I'm like, hey, let's go find another one. Let's copy and paste this, transaction, find another one. So I did. I found another one. It was back in the same town that we originally bought the first house, in Peoria, Arizona. I put it in her name, and we fixed and flipped that one, and we made about $40,000. So literally my first 2 months out here in Arizona, I made my whole managerial salary, on a couple swift, strokes of the pen. And, I fixed up the first house largely by myself because I really didn't have that much money. I was doing the masking and, taping it off and touch up paint. I tried to roll the sod by myself, but I started
work.
It's heavy. But I was willing to do the work, John. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My sleeves and
you brought back some memories, man. We laid sod for several summers, high school and shortly after.
It's hard work, and I'm not afraid of that. I grew up, my dad was a hardworking electrical contractor. My grandfather was a really successful real estate developer and investor in the Bay Area. So I grew up around that. So I knew you had to kind of pay your dues to climb the ranks, and I was never afraid of that. I actually love it. So you build self-esteem when you work hard. When you go and do something and you accomplish something, you feel good about it. I mean, small things. Even when I would sweep up the floors in the restaurant when no one asked me to do it, I felt a little sense of self-esteem. Sure. If you will. You feel a little pride. And yeah, absolutely. So whether it's in the restaurant world or real estate world, I want to do as good a job as I possibly can, no matter the size of the job. That being said, we did a good run. We went from fixing and flipping houses and expanding our investor relationships to buying land, developing luxury homes up here in North Scottsdale. And that was a really fun experience getting started. But that actually happened to be right before the real estate collapse. And we were certainly not immune to that. It was a very humbling experience to go through because we had so much capital invested in the marketplace, and we were really kind of embracing the theory, live beneath your means. So every time, I wasn't used to having $100,000 in my checking account, you know what I mean? I was getting these land deals and I was putting $200,000, $300,000 in my pocket. So for me, it was kind of like, how can I diversify? I still want to live humble and live beneath my means and have that blue collar work ethic. So I was just reinvesting the money. We were living in our little house in Chandler, and funny story, my house payment was only $728 a month for a 3-bedroom house with a big backyard, citrus trees, HOA community, home built in the 90s. I used to rent a room in San Jose for $750 a month. So for me to own
I had a 2-bedroom townhome there in Hollister for $1,250 a month.
Wow. Yeah. So I mean, I felt like I was cheating the system, man. It was like $720 a month, Yeah. That's no problem. But that being said, we got our butts kicked when the real estate market collapsed, and a lot of my investors obviously were getting scared. They didn't want to invest anymore because the market was dropping out. These houses that we were building that we were appraising at 1 million, 1.2 million, were now dropping down to like 800, 700, 600. So it just didn't make sense to continue on that. And rather than try to just force that rock into being a diamond, we just decided, hey, we need to get better skills. We need to level up. We need to improve our approach and have a little more versatility, if you will. And that's when we decided to focus largely on developing a retail real estate career. I, at the time, wasn't licensed. I actually brought Jen on as my licensed agent. When my first agent screwed us, that made me a lot more tentative working with realtors. Some of them aren't, looking out for our best interest. There's one right out there. I just found both of them. But that being said, there was another guy who started switching up, some of the commissions. I was going to do house flips with him, and he was going to do 1%. He changed one of them to a 2 because he said he worked harder on it, and it was a shock to me. So I fired him. I told Jen, she was studying business at Long Beach State. I was like, look, I need you to get a real estate license. We need to have consistency and control and good ethics, reliability, because I'm working with investors. I can't have these surprises. So she got her license. And I told him, like, if you get your license, we'll make an extra 6 figures a year just in the transactions that I generate. But if you want to generate other transactions beyond that, that's going to be icing on the cake, Yeah. And that was huge for us because we were, starting out. We didn't have very much to our name. We were just doing the work and learning and growing. And the experience was the most valuable part of it, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. We were taking notes, we were learning, and we were evolving. So that being said, when we decided to do the retail side of real estate, helping people buy and sell homes, not just fix and flip investors and JV relationships, just kind of expanding our reach, it was exciting. It was a new path for us to embark on.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, definitely. So it's just cool, right? All those little decisions, all those little things, how they shape, the trajectory that we go down, and so it's cool to kind of hear the backstory. And so I mean, you guys started rocking and rolling, and I mean, I know you guys, I mean, it's consistency of improvement, year over year, quarter over quarter, month over month, day over day. And you guys, I mean, you've seen that in the real estate business. What is, kind of for you guys, the central focus, the overarching vision, what it is that you guys are in pursuit of, that allows you guys to sustain over a decades of year over year growth?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think what it is we're definitely staying curious. We still want to learn and grow. We're as much as we teach and mentor, other people, we are very aggressive students ourselves, both Jen and I. She's insane with the amount of books that she's able to read and process. I'm doing the audiobooks, when I'm in the sauna and stuff, and she's reading piles of books. So we both are like just curious, trying to learn more, see what the successful people are doing. Kind of trying to, we always consider ourselves like the little boat, and we're trying to get our rope tethered to the bigger boats and see how they navigate through the storms and how they navigate through the big, the good weather, how they communicate together. So for us, it's just being curious and keep growing and learning and being in the room or on the Zoom calls with successful people that are further down the trail with us. And what we do is we take notes and we implement. We don't just talk. We'll go and do it. And then I'll bring the results back to the person and say, here's where I am. Which direction you think I should go here? Here's the results I got. And I think we've surprised a few people like, oh, wow, you guys actually did the work. So it's just staying curious and doing the work and not quitting and not letting it go to your head. We're still blue collar mindset, no matter what. We're still integrating our business because we love the people we're working with and we enjoy it. But I think ultimately it was just staying curious to learn and grow and keep on the trail.
Yeah, no, I love that. And what about, so you guys are started kind of cranking, coming out of the downturn, continuing to, keep building. What, were you guys independent or where were you at prior to EXP?
Okay, we did a couple tours. We started off, I didn't want to pay any like franchise fees. So we stayed with some local boutique brokerages. I really did believe in our ability to market ourselves. I didn't think we needed, we already had really good relationships with a lot of good investors and so forth. So for us, it wasn't about having a national brand to give us credibility. I felt like the work ethic we had, the way we conduct ourselves in the business environment, the kind of people we are, and the marketing that we can evolve, that we are at that point is something bigger, would guide us. So that being said, we kind of went to some smaller brokerages and we shot to the top of them. We kind of outgrew them. We turned out being number one brokerage after brokerage in the smaller boutique ones. And then ultimately Jen formed a relationship with an amazing broker out here with a national brand. And we decided to go there. And she thought it would assist us with some of our marketing and farming stuff. And there may be some stuff that we can attribute to that. But we were paying so much money to this company with absolutely zero chance to recoup any of it, like tens of thousands of dollars a year, because we started to form a team and we were paying for our, team's fees and, our members' fees, things like that to make it so it's more attractive to join us. But yeah, we were doing that with a smile on our face too.
So what opened up the opportunity, a few years back to even, how were we even presented the opportunity with EXP? How did that even come to be?
Man, people are coming at us left and right. Check out this company. and there was only a few thousand people at the time, but there was some traction here in Arizona fairly early. So there was a little bit more of a flow and a conversation going on. And as you know, in each real estate community, it's a tight-knit group. Sure. The local producers know each other. You go to the same mixers, you cross-sell with each other. So you get to know people. And that's my favorite part of the business. But essentially, people were approaching us and started put on our radar. And I thought it was very interesting. From a model perspective, I had never seen anything constructed the way EXP was. So it really did kind of melt my brain in a good way. It was, in a simplified form, how I explain it is there was like 3 buckets of income opportunities opposed to just one at every other brokerage. Of course, you always have commissions. You sign up, you pay you earn your commissions, you pay your fees, whatever it is. But with EXP, they opened the door of, revenue sharing and then making every agent in the company that sells a house a stockholder and a part owner in the company. I was blown away by that because we didn't have any stock at our national brokerage that we were in prior. We didn't get a revenue share. It's funny though, because when we were on our way out the door, suddenly they started like trying to sweeten the deal for us. Hey, we could take care of you guys a little bit, do some profit sharing. And we're like, well, what about our whole team? Where we're going, the whole team's going to be part owner.
The team's going to win.
Everybody, whether they're one day out of real estate school and they sell their first house, they're part owners. So that was something to me, I really wanted the whole team to benefit from. And I love these people. I've always kind of thrived in the team environment, growing up playing sports, team sports. And, I know my role essentially, but I just try to outwork everybody as best I can and, not be the weak link on the team. So from that decision standpoint, it was really about empowering the people that were around us, our team members and so forth, because I want them to win too. I want them to win more than I want to win myself, right?
Right.
I celebrate their success way more than mine. When I do something good, I'm just kind of quiet and I just carry on. When my team does something good, I'm like, yeah, you did it, like right on. I'm outspoken about that. I love celebrating other people. I really, really do. Yeah. So that was something for me. It was just the opportunity to compare models of everything we've kind of seen that was out there. It's just like every other one, just switch the name. Every other one, switch the name. XYZ Realty is the same as ABC Realty, but EXP was different. And at the time, Jen became the #1 RE/MAX team leader in the state of Arizona. I said, there's our national brand, but that's where we were. And I was like, hey, look at this model over here. I just did the math, and we're losing money staying where we're at, essentially, with no chance to recoup it. If we switch our operation over here, oh my God, it's like unbelievable. It's like gangbusters what can happen. But she was like, look, let's take our time. I just became #1, team leader. Let me get some rewards and some benefits from that, if you will. We worked so hard to achieve that. And I understood that, and when you're married to your business partner, the old adage, and I know you and Holly are super tight and, blowing things up together. You want a happy wife so you can have a happy life, so I couldn't force the hand on that, like, let's go to EXP today. As much as I saw it, I was blown away.
The thing with what you said, and I believe this at my core, is that if you do have a team and you're building an organization, not at EXP, but you say you care about your team, right? You say that's kind of in who you are, maybe in your behavior. Hopefully, your behavior aligns to that, to those thoughts, to those beliefs. Yeah. And then I'm like, well, if you really do, if that's true, then you have to look at how EXP can fit for you, because we come from that same school of thought. We cared about our people. We poured into our people. We tried to provide as much opportunity. Like, we pushed them to be better. We help them set goals, personal goals, helping them accomplish those things.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, how can we do more? Right? That was always the conversation. How can we add more value? That's innovation, right? How can we continue to add more value to our organization to provide for our agents, right? In the beginning, say, hey, we can do more marketing, we can give them more leads, we can provide more support, we could do this, we could do that. And it's like, but how can we do more? And that was one of the reasons why we went independent out of Caldwell Banker, is because we were like, okay, well, let's take that 6% that we're paying and let's how can we pour back into our agents? Yeah. So, that was always kind of our thought process. And then, when something like EXP, a model comes along that you can plug your organization into, that immediately gives agents more value, like you have to look at it. Right. Yeah. You have to explore it. If that's what you believe, if you believe that you're trying to provide as much opportunity and value for your team, then you owe it to them to really, really explore the model and explore, what value that could do without you doing anything any different. Just keep doing what you're doing, and it's going to provide more value.
Well, dude, absolutely. And it's so true. And I love our buddy, Jay Kinder. He said, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Right. So even I saw it, it was still in the back of my head the whole time. After looking at EXP in 5 minutes, I was like, holy crap, I want to be a part of this. You know what I mean? Like, we can do some magical things. My wife, it took her 6 more months to kind of digest it. So literally that was the time frame. But, I grew up, playing team sports, and sometimes, I'd be a number 3 or number 4 hitter, but late in the game, instead of me trying to hit a double or the ball in the park, they're like, hey, you just need to bunt the ball. You're going to get out, but you're going to move a runner in a scoring position. No problem. Yes, sir. And when you get that successful bunt, you get out, you come over, you high five your whole team, and everyone's celebrating you getting out. You sacrifice yourself for the greater good of the team. But then at the end, when you guys win together, there's no better feeling. It's just the best celebrating. And I train Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I fought alone, man versus man. And that's nice when you get your hand raised, but when you're with a whole team of people, that is way better. I mean, the celebration, the love, the camaraderie, it's so much more fun. And EXP, Jay and you guys and Albie, you guys are celebrating life and success. And I love it. It's infectious. The enthusiasm for what we're onto here is so powerful. And it's true, when you have your team in a position to be more successful because you've kind of created a sliver of that opportunity for them, because I don't take any credit. They made the decision to come with us. They made the decision.
Sure. You just put the opportunity out there.
Yeah. What was cool was when we came over, every single person came with us except just one. And that's cool. It's not for everybody, right? Like you don't want to put somebody in something they don't want to do. But 100% of the people came over that we wanted to come over, because we only work with the willing, right? If you're not willing, we don't want to force you. So that being said, we came over here and it's been an amazing ride. And this has been about 3 years ago, a little over 3 years now. We've been a partner company. And so we made the decision. But how it happened essentially was Jen was, some of our mentors, Dan Beer, Kyle Whistle, we literally offered him $5,000, said, Dan, want to come spend a day in your office? Jen won a charity event thing where she paid $7,000 to go meet with a weekend at a big producer out in Pittsburgh. She went, had that experience, came back home with some really great nuggets that really did help our business. So that was powerful. Then instead of just getting kind of, forced of a few menu items, she said, hey, these are people that we go to training events and sit across the table from. And was super impressed. Like Kyle Whistle, he's got one of the biggest hearts of anybody I know, not just in real estate.
I'm a fan for sure. I'm a fan.
He's so hardworking. He's so passionate and caring. He's so detail oriented. And he has the good work-life balance, at least the appearance of it, right? And that's what we want, because we've often been on vacations and we're still trying to hold deals together. I'm in the pool playing with the kids and Jen's on the lawn chair, trying to hold deals together. I'm like, we're on vacation. Come on, it's time to hang out, But you can't always do that, So I think that was really cool. We identified Dan Beer, Kyle. We're like, hey, want to spend $5,000? Come spend a day with you. Just follow you around, see how your departments communicate together, learn some of your systems. Is that okay? And Dan was like, hey, dude, pump the brakes on that. Hold on. We got an announcement coming out next week. And we're like, you don't want our money? And the announcement was him and Kyle Whistle partnered up and joined EXP. And they're like, hey, Jen was like, that's the company you've been talking about, isn't it? I'm like, yes, it is. And Dan called us back and he's like, hey, I'll take your guys $5,000 for one day. Or if you guys want to consider partnering with me at EXP, we're going to be business partners and I'll continue to coach and mentor you guys for free. EXP's
from now on.
$85 a month is what we pay to EXP, John, to get the access. That's a ticket on the train with all these amazing minds. So for me, I was all in. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. My wife, as soon as she was about to say like, yeah, let's sign up, I'm already like signing up. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, what happened was,
I was so excited. So 6 months and 5 minutes later, we decided to join. And that was great, man, because ultimately, the people that were approaching us were different level business people. Love them. They're friends of ours. And, we wanted to be challenged in business. We don't want to just be friendly. We want to be challenged. I want to get uncomfortable. I want to grow. I want to have a little bit of like, I'm scared to take this step type of feeling. And we constantly seek that out, and we've been getting that. And I feel like the people that we're aligned with here, and this is when I share this experience with other people, I say EXP is the only mentorship-based brokerage out there, because when you join, you literally get a board of directors of 7 agents above you that are going to want to pour into your business and help you out. What an incredible environment. That's the best part of it to me, is the alignment with these people that are literally open books. They're sharing the best stuff with you for free because they want you to be successful. Every fiber in their body wants you to be successful, and we feel it, man. Yeah. So I'm like, I've never been around anything like it. We joined with enthusiasm, but now that we've been in it, it's changed our lives. It's changed our financial situation. I think I'm a better dad, a better friend, a better husband, a better business leader, because of the people that I'm able to rub shoulders with in EXP. And so many of them, they're just further down the trail than I am, but they're so gracious enough to share with me, because at my old brokerage, if I, someone, we took some pictures or took someone's pictures and used it on a listing or a strategy, they'd be like, hey, you're stealing from me, right? Don't steal my stuff. It's very competitive. You're bumping into one of your colleagues at your brokerage in the hall. There's friendly competition there. With EXP, you have to literally throw that all out the door. Yeah. It's collaboration over competition. So if I'm doing something really good, or Jen's doing something really good, and you're in our team, even if I'm in our brokerage, we're all shareholder family. So I don't care if you're my upline, downline, sideline, we're EXP, one whole family, right? Bob Marley, one love, right? So that being said, you can take my stuff, slap your face on it, and run with it. You're not stealing from me, you're duplicating. And that's the name of the game. You're modeling successful behavior, and we will celebrate that, not, go after you for that. So that's why we're growing so fast. It's an addictive environment, right? You want more of that. It's a positive synergy. that I've just become like totally rejuvenated and reinvigorated, like I'm a little kid in real estate again. Because, you know, after 19 years, well, when I joined, it was 16 years. After 16 years of real estate, it can get a little redundant, right? But this EXP thing just, I mean, they just juiced it up a lot for us. And, you know, I'm grateful.
It is, man. It's all about the model, right? And you know, the model is aligned to, you know, because compensation drives behavior. So the compensation model is aligned to drive the behavior of making sure everyone succeeds.
Yes.
And even if they're not a part of your rev, you know, circle,
Yeah,
it's still important for them to do well, because if they're doing well, they're building they're becoming better human beings. They're building better businesses. That just makes the company that much more valuable. And so, you know, it becomes that culture, becomes that, you know, really collection of people. And you and I were chatting about this before. I always tell people, I believe you're going to have to get into it, experience it, because most agents, they're just like you just shared, right? There's still a scarcity outside of EXP, right? Even in the same market, or even in different markets, they're still like, oh, I got some secret sauce. I can't let this out, right? It's like, you ain't got no secret sauce. So, but that scarcity is there. Whereas when the model changes and the culture changes, the environment changes, then that changes. Oh, I need to just share, right? I need to give away everything that's working, because that's just going to make us that much better. And I always tell people that, I'm like, man, you're going to have to experience it. But the number one thing that you'll say, man, the most valuable thing that I did by joining EXP was aligning in the community. And, you know, just I was joking with you before we jump on. Jay and I, early on, as the Honey Badger Nation was growing, we were like, holy shit, have you ever seen anything like this? He was like, no. I was like, I've never seen anything like this. And it really is amazing.
Yeah. You know, and a little side note too, was right after the real estate collapse, and I had my ass handed to me. You know, we came out here, like I said, with $17,000 credit card advance, and we built that up to a multiple 7-figure, you know, cash and equity position within our first like 36 months out here. So we were, you know, in a good position. But with that being said, when that happened, our money just vaporized. Like, it was gone. All our properties were down. The investors didn't want to buy. They were wanting to sell off the properties, take losses. I got invited to some network marketing events because, to me, my love language, John, is passive residual income and tacos. I'll talk about those all day long, right? And my buddy's like, "Hey, we'll get some tacos, and I want to talk about some residual income with you." I was sold, man. So,
man, count me in. I love me some good tacos. We had tacos last night, man.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a bad taco. I've never had a bad experience, unless they put some mayonnaise thing on there or something. That's not okay. You know? They call it aioli. They try to trick you, man. But mayonnaise and cigarettes, I'll fight you. My own grandmother, you know, right in front of me. You want to smoke a cigarette? We're gonna go toe to toe. You know, I'm playing, of course. But that being said, I was in that environment and I had literally no experience. But I was with these professionals that were, some of them were very, very successful in other parts of their career. And they were doing this because it was fun, and they wanted the social engagement. They wanted to grow leaders and pour into people and share their experiences. And that was new to me. I was really blown away by how open these people were and the access that I had to these people. And they saw me. They saw me showing up, you know, like Jen says. She says, show up and suck. And she means that by just show up and suck early on, you're eventually you're going to stop sucking. You'll suck less, right? You're going to start getting it. So don't be afraid to show up and suck. You know, you got to be vulnerable and humble. But that being said, I learned some really cool things from that experience. Although I didn't meet my financial goals that I set out from that, the relationships that I was able, and friends to this day that I made, were invaluable. And some of the business philosophies, this one I got exposed to Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is like someone I've just loved studying and listening to and buying his audio. I literally was getting like CDs, you know, and handing those out to my team and said, listen to this man. He's brilliant, man. So I was blown away. And then I saw these groups grow. I saw the power of duplication. I saw the power of simplicity and how fast that groups can grow if they all kind of had the same language and ran the same play. So that was one of the components to me with EXP that I thought was very compelling, was, you know, you can take a simple duplicatable system and achieve some success on this platform with it. You know, if you complicate it, you'll grow slow. you'll confuse people. But if you keep it simple, anybody can come in and do it. And I love that. So I was able to transpose that experience from network marketing into EXP. So not only just real estate, but the networking component, which again, if you're a people lover like I am, it's just in my DNA. This company was like made for me, people like me. Even if
one thing you said earlier in the conversation, and just kind of weaving it into kind of where you're at today.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes back to, knowing kind of your core that doesn't drain you of energy, and having that skill set. Sometimes you just have to find, the right train to get on. And you had said something early on coming out of school that the plan was to recruit and negotiate contracts.
Yeah.
And so how that has carried over 20 something years later into recruiting and maybe negotiating some contracts, right? Negotiating deals and aligning with partners as you're recruiting. So to share a little bit of that, right? How kind of what the original plan was is it's still the original plan. You're just doing it on a different vehicle.
Yeah, man. I wanted to be the next Jerry Maguire. I've been a very passionate sports fan my entire life. I think my dad told me my first word was snake. Kenny Stabler of the Oakland Raiders, growing up in the Bay Area. My whole family was all 49er fans except my dad. He's kind of like the rebel in the family. He was the Raider fan. Thankfully.
You definitely got to be the rebel if you're stuck in the 49er circle.
Yes. So I was always a passionate, I played 14 seasons of baseball as a pitcher, third baseman. I did some catching for a few years. So I was always very, I've trained Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, played basketball. I wrestled in high school. I just love sports. I love competing. I'll play volleyball with you. We'll play ping pong. I'm going to try my hardest. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I love that. But it was basically coming from that mindset of working with athletes because I felt like I spoke their language, but then I can add some business acumen to their game and represent them. And I'm not afraid to ask the tough questions or kick open doors I shouldn't be kicking open, to make things happen and then move things down the trail. So I felt like that was something I really could get involved in and be passionate about. Then life events happen. You have a baby, and you're like, wow, do I want to go around the country year round and recruit? It was going to be a real challenge for me mentally. I was already struggling just coming home every night after 10-hour 12-hour shifts, so let alone being gone for weekends or weeks. It was just, I had to recalibrate my game plan. So that being said, real estate was the avenue for us, and when we evolved into coming to EXP, it was just like the perfect environment for me personally, because I don't consider myself a recruiter. And when I bring people on board, I just invite them to look at information. I kind of call myself an ambassador of information, or a master inviter, if you will. I'm not really recruiting anybody. I'm not trying to pressure cook people. I care about you. I used to be in your shoes. I want to show you something that has lifted me up. Are you open to checking it out? I want to invite you to look at this information. Check out the short webinar. And that's it. And then after that, then I just get like Jay on the phone, or Kyle, or Dan, any of our upline. Curtis Johnson's been incredible. Me and him went to high school together, by the way. I played baseball. He played tennis. So we didn't know each other back then, but now we're boys, man. That's my brother,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And that being said, he's been so gracious, at helping me out. And he's one of the people that recognizes, hey, this guy wants to learn and grow. He's a little further down the trail than I am. So let me help Jim and Jen out. And he's never not returned a call. Just has the servant's heart. I adore him and respect him. And I mean that in the most respectful way, because he's just a gentleman in business. Yeah. And that being said, that's part of the value of this, is these different people are literally giving us the best stuff they have in their business and giving it to us for free. So that for me gives me the opportunity to transfer the value to the people that I encounter, so what they share with me is valuable. Now it's my duty to pay that forward. And when people ask me, some of these people I bring on are, new, they're like, why did you just spend like an hour and a half with me? You're part of a $200 million team. I'm like, hey, that's the only catch, is just pay it forward. You're going to have someone one day that you're going to want to have the same feeling you have now. Just pay it forward to them, and I love that. And that's to me, what it's about caring for each other, helping each other out, and showing up, not just talking about it, but answering the call. I've had to step away from, sitting at lunch with my daughter one-on-one to take three-way calls, from guys in Hawaii. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So just being there and doing the work, and everyone that I'm aligned with, they're all doing it. Jay's never not returned a call of mine. Curtis, Dan, Kyle, amazing, man. Running into you and Holly in Dallas, just the collaboration. It's so addictive, and I love it. And it's really, it's shaped us. Like I said, it's made me better in all these different facets of my life as a person, as a father, as a businessman. And I'm grateful for that. So, to be able to genuinely share that and pay it forward with other people. And my only catch to them is pay it forward. They're like, okay, I can do that. That's all it is, man.
So I know, for you spending, majority of your time day to day right now, moving forward is conversations. Are there any like, hey, this is kind of best practice. This is, obviously, everything that you've shared, blue collar mindset, knowing that you're gonna have to stay curious, keep putting in the work. But as it pertains to, agent attraction, growing the organization, they're like, hey, I believe you've got to do this, this, and this on a consistent basis if you want to excel, with agent attraction.
Don't explain it. Don't vomit the information on people and chase them down. You want to attract, not chase. You can invite people to check out the information. And when you recruit somebody, right, you're teaching them how you want them to recruit. So it's critical to keep it as simple and duplicatable as possible. And I don't know if it was Jay, it was Al, like, what's the first rule of Fight Club?
Yep, that's it.
Don't talk about Fight Club, right?
Don't talk about it.
That applies to our business and all the successful people that have these fast-growing organizations. Their teams and their team leaders are adhering to this one play. And it's literally just invite, set the appointment, get a three-way call on there of your upline leader or a senior agent, and then take notes while I'm setting these appointments and bringing someone on to watch a webinar. And then afterwards, when I get Curtis on the phone or Dan B or Jay, I press mute so they could talk. I'm literally taking notes and internalizing the stuff that they're sharing because it's so valuable. And I do so many three-way calls myself now. For our downline, we've got several hundred agents underneath us that are active around the country, even up internationally now, which is so cool.
It is cool.
But it's just growing so fast. It's like once it starts getting traction, it's like, whoa. But that being said, I think the biggest part is to not vomit the information on people as excited as you are, because no one is going to say it the same way, and you might leave things out. And I don't want to do the injustice to somebody of forgetting to talk about rev share or how we have, healthcare to our agents. I want the short webinar to do the heavy lifting for me. And then I'm just going to edify and introduce my upline member and let them do a three-way call or a three-way Zoom. I like the three-way Zooms best because you can read body language and mannerisms, and you feel like you're actually talking to the person. So,
and you make sure they're engaged, right? If
Truly.
they're on the phone, they could be distracted and you don't even realize it. How much are they really, paying attention?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the things I just told my assistant, when we have prospects, I want to do a Zoom call on the first meeting. Like, I don't want to just do a phone call. If they have something, they're on the road, I can talk to them on the phone, but I want to see their face. I want them to see my face. I want them to feel my enthusiasm, my genuineness. But that being said, so the number one thing is follow the simple system. Now, it was agentattractiontraining.com. They've got some really cool tools. This, like Jay and you and Holly, like you guys have just the brain trust of you guys together has been unbelievable. I've grown so much from the people you've invited on there, the questions you ask. I'm like, oh my God, great question. It's invaluable. So the number one thing is invite people to the information, keep it simple, duplicatable. And if they ask you about it, say, I can't explain it, but can you check out the short webinar? Hey, when are you free? What's your slowest day of the week? Great. I'm going to call you at that time. When they do answer the phone, all right, cool, here's the webinar. I'm going to send you the link right now. Have them jump on that and check it out. There's a bunch of webinars out there that people can use. Brent Gove has a great one that we've been using. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. I want people to come in and say, I don't have to spend millions of dollars to do all this stuff. I can just use the pre-existing tools that are already working. Like, the wheel's rolling. You don't want to try to reinvent. All these intelligent, successful business leaders would have tried everything else under the sun, but this is what they're promoting, doing, and using every single day. So I'm just going to model that successful behavior and duplicate that. And I want to teach you to do the same thing. So I've been practicing that. My statistics have greatly improved. When I first came on, I was vomiting, breaking the rules. You know, 'cause I was so
get yourself right. I mean,
yeah.
and I think the cool thing too, if you're doing the Zooms, maybe hit record, and you'll catch yourself, right? You go back and watch the game, right? Go back and watch the film, and you'll be like, oh, right. I mean, that was one of the biggest lessons for us early on, even in real estate. You know, that was, you know, the power of coaching, and you know, hey, this script ain't working, right? Well, let's go through it. What are you not saying? What are you messing up, right? And sure enough, right, you're not really following it.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of what we've seen, you know, with agents that are having, you know, trouble getting agent attraction going, is they're just not following the process. And so I put it in the scroll, like what you talked about, agentattractiontraining.com. It's the fundamentals. It's the basics. It's getting the things set up to build on a foundation for success.
Yeah. And so I touched on what I think you should do, you know, just invite, not fire hose people with information. Also invite them to the live events. Those live events are game changers. I've brought several people to these, and they just have light bulb moment after light bulb moment going off. And they're like, I need to be a part of this. Like, I've been with my brokerage for years. We've never had this kind of collaboration. We've never had this high level of sharing ever, you know, and we do it daily. You know, there's daily stuff that we have going on that people could plug into. So as much as I say what to do, the other thing I would say not to do is don't spam people. Do not just say, oh, you're going to get rich overnight on stock awards. It's the next Amazon, you know, oh, we're going to get rich on revenue share. I know, you know, this person's making multiple figures, 6 figures a month, that you're next, you know, like that's just the wrong way to bring people in. For us, it's relationship-based recruiting, if you will.
Yep.
And then it's more organic, and the relationship is stronger. And it's about sharing the value of our group with them. The stock awards and revenue share are like the cherries on top. I honestly don't spend, I spend such little time on that, less than 2%. The 98% is about how I can help you and your business sell more houses. Because a successful producing realtor is a very attractive realtor, right? So if you can sell more houses and you come over with us and you're selling more houses, you're actually achieving that, people are going to be like, okay, they got something going on over there. So for me, don't lead with that stuff. Lead with the power of our mastermind group. The collective genius in this group is mind blowing. And if you tap into it, you're going to see the results. When we came to EXP, John, we were around $70-80 million a year in production. In 3 years now, we'll be somewhere around 210 million this year. So we've tripled our business, right? But I attribute that. We have amazing people on our team. You know, Marsha, Marcy, Shaylin, you know, Jen she runs a show with us. I mean, it's just incredible. We're lucky to have these amazing people that help us, and I wouldn't be anything without them. And that's the truth.
Yeah. And, you know, definitely kudos to you guys for creating that culture and, you know, just establishing those values and what you guys believe and, you know, fostering a culture that, you know, is there to pour in and help everybody succeed and contribute at a high level. So kudos to you guys.
Thank you,
man. So just as we're kind of wrapping up here, any final, you know, thoughts or, you know, you guys have tons and tons of success. I mean, what's important to you guys right now moving forward?
You know, it's, we were just a small team before, and it was really just about, you know, kind of our inner circle. And now with the way EXP is structured, we've got all these amazing people that are outside of our local team here, the Wehner Group, around the country, that we've just got so much care and love for. And we want to just keep pouring into people and helping people reach their goals. So for us, it's really just contributing and serving others and not taking, not taking our foot off the pedal, right? Showing up every day, doing all the calls. I love them, man. Like, Jay said it, and he said, man, I at the end of the day, I felt like I did all these three-way calls, and I felt like I made an impact that day. And I'm like, man, I want to have that feeling. And it wasn't just for the last, you know, maybe 4, 5, 6 months. I started having that feeling. I'm like, I did three-way call, Zoom call, three-way call. And at the end of the day, my wife said, how's your day? I'm like, I think I made an impact today.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, so that's it. It's about serving others and just, you know, contributing to their best, you know, interests and their growth. And, you know, if there's something that people come to me with that's outside of the scope of my expertise, it's so awesome knowing I've got all these people around me that I can connect them with and they make me look good because I was the one that put the hands together. And then that's, again, the collaboration is off the charts, and the willingness, someone comes at me, one of my realtors, like, hey, I want to get better at video. What do you do? I'm like, hey, you need to check out these videos from Kyle Whistler. If you like it, I'll get you on the phone with Kyle. Hey, what about farming? Hey, my buddy Dan Beer is the master at that. He's like Jedi Knight level farming. Check out these videos, and if you want to, get you on the phone with them. They take every call. So it's amazing, when you start to grow. But again, they're setting the standard of paying it forward, loving on us, contributing to us. My only duty is pay it forward. So I'm just doing that a lot, man. Rinse and repeat every day.
Rinse and repeat. Well, I love it, man. Appreciate you, brother, jumping in. Amazing and powerful call. And, really appreciate you adding ton of value, being, a true expert mentor and what, what this collaborative conversation and Expert Mentors live series is all about. So for everybody listening in, make sure you guys share the love with Jim, and then man,
I'm on Instagram. Send me a DM on Instagram, Jim Wehner.
Hit him up. Brother, appreciate you. Thank you guys. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. See ya.
Thank you, John. Cheers.